Right, ladies and gentlemen, we are back for that 45-second break.
Yes, sir. We can hear you fine, sir.
All right, ladies and gentlemen. First off, again, this is an acting icon, a true legend in the game with 221 credits. And we're going to play a clip after this interview, and when he played a character called Andre Thomas, and it actually inspired me to become an actor. Any movie this person and Samuel L. Jackson is in, I'm going to see. Period. This particular person is truly acting royalty. Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Clifton Powell. How you doing tonight, sir?
I'm great. I'm out at the Sweet Lounge in Atlanta watching a game. But I wanted to stop and make sure I did this interview because you guys have been persistent.
Yeah, I have. I've been trying to get you since last year.
We thank you so much for coming on.
Y'all been trying to get me since November.
Yeah, we have.
Absolutely.
We have.
Absolutely.
Well, sir, how you doing tonight? We're not going to take up too much of your time. Let's go ahead and jump right in it. 221 acting credits. How do you pick and choose your roles?
Man, I don't know. I don't know if I got 221 acting credits, but I told my man earlier I wanted to be a football player. I have no idea how I got into acting. I was the worst actor in my program. After football, I wanted to be a bus driver. I had no goals. I had no ambition other than playing football. So when I think about my acting career and I think about my journey, I think that it's all the work of the gods because my steps must have already been ordered because this is the last thing I could have imagined.
Well, I see you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 movies already in post-production in 2018. So that's...
That could be true. I can tell you this. I just finished. Because what happens is that a lot of people call you and they call your agents and they attach you to films that you're not in. But I believe that I've been blessed. I've had a long career. I've had a career full of versatile characters. I'm a character actor. But what I really try to impress on people, but let me just stop and say this. I just did an episode of Black Lightning, which is a new series that's coming out on the CW. I want everybody to watch that. I'm playing a pastor. I just did an episode of Brockmire, which is incredible. Just did a Mike Epps movie. It's kind of like a horror film with him and Cat Williams. It's a funny movie.
Yeah, that's going to be funny.
A horror with Cat?
I'm playing a smoking cop. I be smoking Black and Miles on the porch. It's crazy. I can't even tell you how crazy it is. So, I've had a long career, and I'm just grateful to the gods, man. I can't even put it into words. It's been a miracle because I wanted to be a football player. I still want to run back a punt in the NFL. And I'm 62.
Wow, I didn't know you. You look younger than that, sir. Question: how do you not be typecast? Because when I first posted your flyer, there's 2 things people said. One was Pinky. The other one was the character you played for Murray. So how do you, because every role that you take is a different role and you're a different person in that role because the role you played in Dead Presidents is different from Pinky than what it was in Ray, than it was on Rock, than what it was on anything else. How do you keep it fresh?
Well, I think that sometimes I don't really think about that. I just read a script. Like when I read Menace, I was like, man, this thing is so crazy. I just want to be a part of it. So I rode around in the hood and tried to create that character, Chauncey.
Right.
When I did Cuddy, I went in to read. It's a big story behind every role that I've done, and it would take another interview to really break down all the things behind all the roles that I've done.
Oh, we lost him.
All right, get him right back, guys.
All righty. Yeah, because we definitely want to get into some more questions. Because there's some things that we talked about on the phone that specifically need to be addressed and talked to. So that should be, just wait for a second, ladies and gentlemen. You know how this works. It's 2018, new year, new us. All right, we are back. Yeah, we're back. Yes, we got you. We got you back.
So for instance, let me just try to speed through this. When I did Chauncey and Menace, that was one role. So the Hughes brothers did Dead Presidents. I went up for Cowboy and Spider. But the night before, I studied Cuddy. Mm-hmm. You got me?
Right. And
I memorized Cuddy. So I went on for Spider. I had a patch on my eye. I went in for cowboy. I had a cowboy hat on. And then I memorized Cuddy. I had a suit, my only suit that I had because I was poor at the time. I had a suit and a Dom hat. And I memorized Cuddy, and I did Cuddy just like you saw the movie, and they put me in Dead Presidents.
Wow.
So I didn't, it's not like I had a choice. I just read the script, and I said, this is how I see the character. So really, the real bottom line of everything that I'm saying, a lot of it is just training. I've been trained from high school to college to 10 years in New York doing stage and television and film. But really, I attribute it all to my training. Because when I went in to do Cuddy, the night before I called my manager, I said, who's playing this role, Cuddy? And she said, well, they got a big name for Cuddy. I said, well, I'm going in and I'm going to try to get Cuddy. Because I thought it was the most interesting character. So I memorized Cuddy, and I did it just like you saw in the movie.
Dig it. So that being said, with everything going on in Hollywood, now, with all these sexual allegations, what do you have to say about what's going on in Hollywood and the history of that, all of that stuff that goes on there?
I have two things to say. I think we have to look at the history of Hollywood. When you study acting, and I went to Emerson College, and I know some of the, Sam came out of Morehouse, Angela Bassett came out of Juilliard, some of my friends, Charles Dutton came out of Yale. I don't know if they teach the history of Hollywood when you come into college and you study acting. But if you study the history of Hollywood, it's been happening since almost the beginning of time in Hollywood. Mm. Second of all, I think we have to get to a place where we respect each other, not just as black and white, or men to women, or women to men, or woman to woman, or man to man. We just have to respect each other as people. And I think when we do that, then if you're working alongside a female, then you have to respect her as a person. And you just can't do some of the things that have been alleged. You just have to be respectful. And I think we need to get back to respect and love and respect in this country.
All righty, sir. The next thing I want to touch on is that you're a household name. People see you, and I kind of feel not sorry, but it's kind of concerning because you're not like any of the characters that you are. And when something comes out on the web about you or about any celebrity, what do you want to tell people to address that? Because, although you are Clifton Powell, superstar, but you are also just a regular person as well.
Right. Well, if you check the web, I have been accused of one or two things over the last 25, 30 years. But if you pull up my record, I have never been in trouble, never been on drugs, never been arrested. So when you accuse me of anything, you got to make sure that you're telling the truth. And if you're not telling the truth, my father used to always say to me, the truth will set you free. So entertainers are targets. And I never got into this business to be a target. I love life. I love people. And I love humanity. I have black people, white people. I have almost every nationality in my family. And at the end of the day, I respect everyone. I was raised by women. I respect women. So I think that when people make accusations about people, especially celebrities, I think you got to go on. I think you got to do your research. Yeah. And that's the main thing I want to say to the general public. Don't just buy for face value what you hear about someone like Bill Cosby. The majority of the women that are accused by Bill Cosby, a lot of them have criminal backgrounds, criminal records.
Yeah, but that don't ever come up. But you're absolutely correct.
But do your research. And so I say to not just African Americans, I say to men, I say to women, black, white, Latino, Asian, don't just believe everything you read.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, we have some problems. Zay could get them right back for us.
Yeah. So, but when you talk about that, yeah, man, that's a deep thing, man, because It's like this stuff is running rampant.
It is like getting so out of control.
Out of control.
Because it's like, well, in Dave Chappelle in that special that he did, he was like, well, damn. He's like, well, odds are I'm next.
Yeah,
it
is
like,
so getting out of control. Everybody is being accused now.
Yeah, if you've spent any amount of time in Hollywood, man, it's almost like it kind of goes with the territory. And that's just so not right.
I don't know if it should go with the territory because I can post something. I'm nowhere close to even being close to this level. And I was like, did you even read what the fuck I wrote? Why you just, okay, we are back.
I'm sorry, you got cut off.
Oh, yes, sir.
So let me say this last thing. In a general way is do your research. That's all I ask anyone to do. If you read anything about me, go online and do all your research.
Right.
If you read anything about Bill Cosby, go online and do your research. If you read anything about any person, black, white, Latino, straight, gay, male, female, do your research and draw your own conclusions after you've done your research. Because what happens is, what's happening right now is people are being found guilty before they even have a court of law.
Yeah.
And that's not fair.
Well, sir, we know you at the game. I got 2 more questions for you. Well, actually, a question and a request, and then we're going to let you go so you can check out Georgia beat Alabama, which is what I'm hoping for. So, that being said, do you have any advice for any actors that's coming up after you or actors that are trying to get into the business? What would you tell them as far as from your perspective on how to proceed with that?
The one thing that I would tell everybody, and I tell all my students, and I tell all my friends, study hard. Get your training. So when you look at Viola Davis, when you look at Denzel Washington, when you look at Charles Dutton, when you look at Al Pacino, when you look at Gene Hackman, when you look at Robert De Niro, when you look at Angela Bassett, when you look at Clifton Powell, we are trained. I studied 20 years before I got to Hollywood. And that's the main thing, is have your talent assessed and get your training. That's all I can say.
All righty, sir. First of all, thank you for your time. Oh, do you have anything coming out other than what you told us that was coming out on CW that you wanted to discuss?
Oh, yes. Everybody that's listening, please tune in to Saints and Sinners on Bounce TV, starring Vanessa Bell Calloway, Clifton Powell, Keith Robinson, Christian Keys. Please, Trey Chaney, go to Bounce TV and Google the last 2 seasons. This is season 3. I'm playing a character named Rex Fisher, which is almost like the character Cuddy that I played in Dead Presidents. It's one of the most juiciest, most intriguing series on television. It's on a small network called Bounce TV, but it's a growing network.
Right on.
Go check it out. All my fans, everybody that's listening, it is a wonderful show. We just shot 2 episodes of season 3. We start back next week, and I think the show will start up on Bounce TV again in mid-February or March. So check your listing for Bounce TV and Saints and Sinners.
Last thing, sir, if you would please just look into the camera and say, and just tell everybody who you are and that they're tuned in to the Benét Embry Show. Okay,
hold on. I got to say one last thing.
Go ahead.
I just did a movie that's at the Sundance Film Festival called Sinners Wanted. You got to see it. It's incredible. I would be remiss if I didn't say that movie. Now, what do you want me to say? You want me to look into the camera and say what Embry Show? Yeah. I can't, because I'm at the game. I can't hear anything.
Just say your name and you're tuned in to the Benét Embry Show.
The Benét Embry, I got that.
Right.
It ain't no way y'all can see me. It's so damn
dark.
No.
We can see you.
We can pan back. Just pull back.
I'm one of the darker brothers.
No.
We can see you. When company came.
Yeah. Pull back. That's good.
Right
there.
Go ahead.
What's going on, everybody? Clifton Powell. You're listening to the Benét Embry Show. Check it out.
Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you.
Hey, listen, guys. I don't know how you guys did it, but I got to tell you, everybody that's listening, persistence pays off.
Yes, it does. Absolutely.
My manager has called me about all types of shows this year, and I'm not even going to not say any of the names because some really big shows, and my schedule just wouldn't allow it. But you ladies and gentlemen, have been so persistent, It's been an honor. Thank you all so much for watching everything that I've done.
Everything.
It's just been a miracle, man. I get emotional because I grew up in the 60s, and African American people have made me a house